Hello, family. Hi, I'm still a mess. I'm having some hot chocolate. I wanted to do this. I just got through. I had to. I put a video up yesterday, and it took all day, all day, all day. And still this morning it wasn't up, so I had to delete it and start all over again. Then I had to sit here and wait till uh, it was done uploading to see whether it was gonna monetize me, whether everything was okay. There for a minute they said they found one restriction and then they didn't. So, but I want to go ahead and do this video while I'm thinking about it, because sometimes if I go about my business, I forget it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and whether or not anybody listens to it, watches it, or what, it doesn't really matter, but I just know that I feel I need to do this video. Um, I've, I've, I've got the clothes on that I slept in, and except for the sweater, and I just don't even care. My hair isn't even combed. So, how do I want to start saying this? We don't know how long we've been on this planet, or if we've been here forever. I don't know. We don't know who we are and what we are, other than what we're seeing when we look in the mirror, what we're feeling, uh, and everything. So, and we're told many, many, many things through books, through videos, through scrolls that they found from thousands of years ago. We've got the book of canons that people wrote and stuff and put together that they call the Bible, that says part of that is our history, and this happened, and we're given divine direction through the Bible, and it just goes on and on and on. And of course, you've got people talking about the flat Earth, that we're on a flat Earth, but here's the thing. And then of course you got people saying it's a round globe. Well, the so-called Bible, the book that has all it's a folder that has all the data in it, from scrolls and tablets and stuff that people wrote out hundreds of years ago. Part of it's history, part of it is not, like I said before. But in the very first book, Genesis, it talks about, in the beginning, God created blah 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 blah. Mankind, male and female. And there's just so many aspects that I myself can go with that line right there. It's like they leave it up for interpretation, you know what I mean? But did the people back then that wrote that, it was supposed to have been Moses, uh, did he know that he was leaving it open for interpretation? I don't know, or the creator or whoever put us here relayed to him, do it this way. I don't know. But when you get to Genesis, I think it's the second chapter where Adam and Eve were supposed to be made, where Eve was taken from Adam's rib. But we'll go back to in the beginning, where God divided the waters from the waters and put a firmament inside the water and raised it up and put it on pillars. Now, can you imagine that? Because all of that was water, apparently, because it said in the Spirit hovered over the deep. What? It was water. So, okay, take that picture and put in a permanent glass, because that's what permanent means, beat out into a form, a dome. Put that in the water and raise it up like that, and of course earth came with it. However that was done, and put on pillars. So it's like the earth is standing up out of the deep, the water, on pillars like an island up here in the air. And down all around here is water. All around us, up above us, is water. So it's almost like we're in this little snow globe. It's a terrarium, whatever. So think on that a little bit. But that's what the canon says in Genesis. Now, if you don't believe me, go read it. I mean, so everybody's hollering about the flat earthers, but seriously, if you go and look at it and read it, that's what it says. And you've got many nations all around the world from the past have got maps of that. It's not just the people of today that have said that. So, okay, get the description in your mind. There's a God. That's what we've been told. That built this. Why did he build it? Well, Genesis in the Garden of Eden, where supposedly God put man and divided him into woman because he couldn't find a helpmate among all the animals. But whoever's speaking is saying, whoever is narrating this story is saying, and God put man in the garden, and there was nobody to till the ground. Now, what does that sound like to you? Sounds to me like God or whoever needed a worker, somebody that was going to plow the ground up and take care of the ground and do the hard work, get the work done. And it had to be a big, tough, strong person, certainly. Because he couldn't find anything in the animals that could do that. So he formed man to do that. And it says it. Go read it. And mind you, I was raised in church, in Christianity. But even a lot of the other religions have that same similar story. That was told that mankind was formed from the ground to till the ground. Just saying. Go read it. Okay, so there mankind is in there working. But now, fast forward to today, we're learning that extraterrestrials came, but a lot of people say that it was angels and Lucifer and the devil, whatever, and a lot of people ask, well, all this stuff's going on, well, where's the real God in all of this, So there's just questions flying around everywhere. People trying to find answers to where we came from and why we're here, and now today you got people mad because they got to work, they got to pay for water that should be free for us, the fruits and the trees growing that should be free for us, so people are griping and complaining about it. And of course, and then they're saying, in which I've watched some of the rockets go up. They only go to a certain point and stop. It's like they can't get out of here no matter how high they think they're going. They go to a limit and that's it. And then they come right back down again. So when they turn around, then they have to and set back down again. So I'm just throwing this out there. But it seems to me like what I'm seeing out of all of this, about how we're being controlled by our own government, by different governments across the world, and humans are being controlled. They have to work, and a lot of people have to work hard to make enough money to buy the things that they need to survive and to live, so they could just go back and work again. And then you've got people that's got money on top of money that it looks like they don't have to work. But they are really working. They're working for somebody else. And that's how I see it. We're trapped here somewhere. We're forced to work and give thanks. And now the Christians, which and I've been saying give thanks for what we've got. So as long as we're giving thanks for what we got, we're somebody over here in the corner is making sure, as long as we're using our words and our power, it's like we've been given certain tools to be able to endure staying in this prison, trapped in this prison, to till the ground. From a lack of a better word to say, till the ground. And a lot of us aren't tilling the ground, but what are we really tilling? I know, this is one of my philosophies, and I've just come up with the whole scenario of, okay, we were created, whether it be the Anunnaki, whether it be God, whether it be Satan and the angels, whether it been mankind from back then that created us, we don't know. And we can listen to all the Christians out there we want that swears up and down that one and only God created us, and that we are to bow down to this God and give thanks. And then you got other people that says, well, the only God that we're really worshiping is Lucifer, Satan, the devil. And so, regardless of all of that, it does not matter, because we're here. We still have to work. We still have to figure out ways to survive in this world that was created to keep us in, to keep us here, because there's no way any of us, I don't care that we can get out of here unless we let this avatar die. And maybe we're coming back, because then there's reincarnation, that our consciousness is put back into another body, we're born again, and off we go. Because Jesus did tell everybody you must be born again. So, what was he telling us? Look at this. Was he telling us, you're going to continue to be born again until you learn the lesson? I don't know. Or was he trying to tell us that we're in this, and we're gonna continue, our consciousness is gonna continue to be born again, whether we like it or not? Or did we choose to do this? Because you go back to the Garden of Eden, and there was two paths we could have took. Wasn't really two trees. It was two paths. You can either take this path or take that path. But either way, we still had to choose. That was the free will. So what was those two paths? We could be reincarnated someplace else, where all we did was live life, or reincarnated and let our consciousness continue to come down and come down and come down. Well, hopefully I'm not squirreling here, but okay, now we jump to they're creating robots now, and there's even talk out there that they're going to take people's consciousness and put them in these robots. So is that the new worker? Because that's what they're using them for, is work. So are we being transformed, the tunic, the so-called, that is the Genesis says, the spirit, mankind, said we're naked. Okay, if they were a spirit, they were naked inside here, inside this terrarium, lab, experiment area. I don't know. And I lost my train of thought. To be finding the perfect human, finding the perfect, because it said, let us make. So are we still in the process of being made? And they're going to finally pick the consciousness, the people, the spirits, whatever you want to call it, the consciousness that made fit of the fittest. And that's the way humans are not, maybe not humans, but the mankind that whoever wanted to create finally creates. So are we in the middle of still being created? But of course, then you go down to the bottom line that everybody don't want to work anymore. They're waking up, but they don't know what they're waking up to. Half of us don't know what we're waking up to. What are we waking up to? Are we waking up to the fact that we are in an experiment? We do have to give thanks to whoever that is controlling the elements, controlling the water, this, whatever, the food, and thank them that we still can stay alive. And we don't even know what that purpose is. And of course, a lot of people say different things, and Christianity will say this, this, and this, and the Israelites, all the different religions will say, well, this is the reason. But my take and my bottom line to it all is, even though it was placed within us to speak words and get what we need, it's almost like, oh, how do I want to say it? Oh, God, train of thought, lost a train of thought. You're given, there was, and I had this earlier, that, I don't know, can't remember whether it was a movie or what, but people were given a certain kind of tool, certain ways. Oh, I know what it is. You watch these movies where one person, or they got a club out there that they like to hunt. And usually there's a group of them. Now this might tell you something. And part of what made me think of this was I watched a video where a mom was talking to her little girl. The little girl just got up. She's rubbing her eyes and she said, "Mommy, we're being hunted." And that got me to thinking. All right, now in the movies that they go out and pick somebody and they start hunting them. They let them loose out in the wild. And they give them, some of these movies or whatever, they give them something. They start them out with something. And they give them so long of a time to get ahead and before they start hunting them down. So that person they're hunting has to be smart enough to outwit them so they can't catch, so they don't catch them, because when they catch them, they're gonna, So, and I'm thinking, okay, are we still being made? Are we still being created? Or is what we read just the blueprint? Was all that just a blueprint? And then when Yeshua, Jesus, came in on the scene, he's trying to teach us all, give us some insight to how we can combat what we're up against. But and you think, well, why would if I was in hell and I was in a dome, a terrarium, of course, couldn't get out, where would we go anyway? If we're in hell, giving us tools, because it does say, now listen to this, now listen very closely, that Jesus went to hell for 3 days. Was that his time here? 3 days? 30 years? 33 years it was. Because he was preaching to us. It said, the Bible says he went to hell and preached. So was he giving us tools to be able to get out of this hell that we're in? Because we can by the mountain, our speech, because he does say, ask and speak to the mountain, tell it to be moved. So was it just a way to help us through, to get through these trying times, to be here in this world, to be in this globe, to be in this, what seems to be hell for a lot of people? And but my bottom line with it all is, all right, first of all, most of us, there isn't a cotton picking thing that we can do about it if that's the case. Even the wealthy people. But they have somehow, some way, found a way to put themselves in financial freedom, that they can make their life more comfortable while they're in this, whatever this is. Whereas you go down to the poor people and they're miserable as hell. And then you've got some of us that have figured out with our words, with the tools that Yeshua taught in those canons, the New Testament, and which some of us are high achievers, not as high achieving as the ones that made millions of dollars, but we're still in this little area that we can make this poor reality a little bit better by using our words and by using our creativeness and stuff like that. So, another thing we can do about it, folks, other than use those abilities that were given to us to be able to withstand where we're at and what's going on. And who are we thanking anyway when we say thank you? Are we thanking ourselves for thinking of that, or are we thanking, because we don't see nobody, and we can have dreams and we can have ideas in our head about what that being we're told looks like. Some people picture horns and being red with a tail, and but we all don't know the answers. And the best we can do is take what we've got and do the best with it that we can. Because the only way that we're going to get out of here and get out of this is to go ahead and leave this planet the way that a lot of people, most people does. Or are we going to, and I don't want to use the word fight, are we going to strategize a way to stay longer? Because if there is such a thing as bringing the consciousness back into a new body, born, and have to start all over again, then we just have to start all over again. And some people remember it and some people don't. I don't know. But bottom line, we're still going to have to work one way or another. And I was going to do a separate video on what I feel I'm going through. And of course, all you younger folk that think you're having problems now and how rough everything is. Oh Lord, I mean, I can remember when I was young and being able to work and live and laugh, and it wasn't hard on me. And now that I'm older, which this avatar, this body wears out. And there's different choices that you have to make as to your living quarters. Because, basically some of us only have a certain amount of money that we can live on. And you have to choose as wisely as you can for yourself. And with me already having a hard time getting around, and where I'm sitting, when bad weather comes, like we've had here recently, I can't get in or out. And I've got a ramp out here, and I have to watch me going up and down. I can't because I'll fall, which I have fallen already. And then there's my dog, and I'm not complaining about my dog. I love my dog. But she needs special care too, because she's 126 years old. So I have to take this body that right at this point in time is not completely healed from surgeries and having to need another surgery. And I have to stumble around here the best I can and hold on to stuff without falling to take care of her the best I can, because I want her to have a happy life too. So, but then you get, you're so tired. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted of trying to make it work. When, and like y'all, we're being controlled. We're being controlled by who and what we don't know, and it really doesn't matter. Everybody's being controlled. The rich, the wealthy, the poor, the in-between, the old, the young. We're all being controlled. And the best that we can do is use the tools that were taught to us by Yahshua, to use our words and love that's in our heart to sustain us, to keep us out of the fire, so to speak, of hell. Live a little life of protection in our reality. That all of this that's going on out here ain't hitting us and making hell worse for us. That's all we can do, folks. And if they are, and if our conscious, if this avatar wastes away, and our consciousness goes someplace else, or the people that are controlling us, Anunnaki, whoever, whatever, takes our consciousness and puts it in a robot after this avatar, nothing we can do about it. Not that we all know of right now. So the best we can do, like I said, is just live our life as happily as we can. Stop fighting, because going out there and protesting and fighting and dying before your time, or maybe that is Whenever this avatar dies, it's time to do something else with our consciousness. I don't know. I don't know how to explain all that. But that's that is one of my philosophies that I've brought to you, that I can truly say it's a philosophy I've got. And I'm still adjusting it every day. Oh gosh, guys, my cocoa's getting cold. Remember, a merry heart. You gotta keep a merry heart to stay out of hell. You gotta laugh. Laughter brings joy to you. Find a way to have a merry heart, and it's good medicine for this avatar. To keep your imagination and your brain in a sound mind, so you can think logically and keep yourself safe here wherever we're at and whatever this is. But our heart also believes and thinks. So whatever it believes, as a man thinks in his heart, Proverbs 23:7, that's the direction that between the heart and the mind and the body, because the body, all the cells have brains and memories too. That is where it'll take us and what reality that it decides to take us in through what the heart believes. And of course, Henry Ford come up with the phrase, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. So I'm exhausted. This whole I'm half German, and I was told that Germans speak with their hands, so I don't know. Indians do too. Oh no, no, I'm just joking. I am got a little bit of Indian in me, and English and half German. So anyway. Oh, you ought to see me when I'm talking on the phone to somebody, and I like as if they can see me. I'm this way, and I'm not going into blah blah blah. All right, you guys, I love y'all. Hugs and kisses. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye for today.